you don't see a lot of people sitting on the sidelines looking through their catalog and making notes by dogs' names. Maybe so, but I haven't noted that myself. So I think it would still make it very simple to see that dog number 10 in the 6 to 9 class, and you just whip back there and you see all the, because it's in alphabetical order, or numerical order, sorry, you would see all of the information on that dog immediately. So I would think that this be a good thing for ASCA. I think that you'd be able to make money on your catalog again. I don't think it would make any difference in the advertisement people. You're going to have just as many advertisements from the public as you would before. And so I think that that would be something that we should discuss and consider. I think that's all.
Okay. Has this been like sent to the, okay, it says the chair has requested. So is this gonna come to as a motion to the board or what?
Well, I think at this point it's a discussion. It was sent to the confirmation committee to discuss, but it really is not the confirmation committee's situation. It's not their choice, as far as I would consider, because they're just one of all the programs. If you're going to send it to one committee, I think you should have to send it to all the committees to see what they say. So I'm not sure how to proceed with this, but I think it is something that needs to be discussed, you know, from the board, since it's a ASCA event situation.
Right.
Didn't Agility do that last year? Didn't she have Kathy do Agility that way?
Yeah, it was reduced.
All right. So you can go to last year's catalog and see what it would look like.
Is this, Rick, is this something that the 2022 Nationals chair, is Rachel gonna send it to us for approval or what? You know?
I can find out. I don't know. I know the catalog chair is the one who is proposing this. And she gave a very good report that, you know, we did lose money on the catalog. So she's trying to think of ways to reduce cost and be able to make money on the catalog, which I think is probably a very good idea since everything is going up. I can get with Rachel and see if she would like to propose a motion for that. I feel like they feel it's a board decision because it's a money issue and it's the catalog, but I'll do whatever the board would like.
I just want to make sure that, you know, the committee is in agreement and all that. You know, I'm all in favor of it, you know, especially if we're trying not to lose money on the catalog. I mean, there's so
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just not sure that the board should just say, let's do this.
Well, I would be happy to go back to the NAC and let them know any issues the board might have. I'm really not hearing any at the moment and would like a recommendation to proceed with this.
right. I mean, I followed the, this is Anne, by the way. I followed the discussion in the confirmation committee because Kathy brought it to them, and they agreed, going back and forth with the caveat that, like, in the finals rules, it is required to have all of this information. But as they said, having it in one place, having everyone's numbers in one place at the end with all the information would take care of that. Just so you know, in last year's catalog for Agility, they just had the call name and the handler. And so that was minimal, and that's fine. She proposed in this letter that you forwarded, Rick, from Laura, so the NAC is well aware of this. And it says right here, prepared to send a motion to the board about this. My only concern is Kathy was saying, oh, we're going to reduce when they listed in the classes to the dog's number and their registered name. It's like, I don't want to be flipping back. I mean, confirmation people do this. I don't want to be flipping back and forth. And I think if we could reduce it to, obviously, armband number, registered name, call name, and then the handler, or maybe the owners and the handlers, that's only 2 lines. So that's still cutting it by a third. So that's my personal feeling, that I absolutely agree with the premise to try to cut it down and not have all of the information for every single class for the entire catalog, and only have that all the information listed in back once, and then for each class we can keep agility the way it is. That doesn't seem to be an issue, but to have armband, registered name, call name, and handler, and then possibly owner. And then the other part of that was removing the birth dates of the junior handlers, and I 100% agree with that. So that's it. So I agree. I would like to see that, I mean, because it is an NAC motion, because it is the catalog of the specialty, and if you could just forward my opinion that that's what I would like to see, then I agree, and I look forward to see what they come up with. Thanks.
Yeah, I agree, and yes, the NAC is well aware and does approve of this, but I think this is the feedback they're wanting before they do present a motion. So if you would not mind, or would you mind sending it to me in writing so I could forward it to the NAC?
Absolutely, no problem at all.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to add something to this, Rick, is that I disagree that the handler's name should be on there, because especially in confirmation, the handler changes sometimes right at the gate. And so the handler is not always an owner. It could be just an exhibitor that had a free hand at the last minute. So I don't think that the handler's name is important to put on this. It could be put in because it comes off. I think it comes off the entry form. It could be put in the back, but I don't think we need to put it on the front page with or that class with that, because it's too easy to be. Too easy to be incorrect.
Right, I totally understand what you're saying, Denise, but I also think 9 times out of 10, in order to figure out what dog it is, you can't really see the armband until you look at the handler. This is nationals, and yeah, some dogs are like switched around, but it's not going to be switched around and bred by. And so
no, that's the only one that it would be accurate in every time.
And I think for the most part they are accurate. I mean, you plan, and if you're sitting there, if confirmation are sitting there and looking at the catalog, maybe they can't really see the armband number unless they're announced, but the handler's right there, and they have a possibility of knowing who the handler is. But I totally see your argument as well.
I think the thing to do is for, any director that has an opinion on what should be or should not be in the catalog, on the classes, should perhaps, give Rick the information, and then Rick can forward that to the NAC so that they can, see the pros and cons of the different, possibilities, and then they'll figure out a motion and send it to us. I mean, I think that's probably the best way to do this.
So please, anybody that has any information, send it. I'll be happy to forward it on to them and let them come up with the motion.
Is that okay with you, Denise, since you're the one who brought up the discussion?
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure that we talked about this because it's been taking up time in the confirmation committee and they're just back and forth on the same things. And it really isn't their, as I said, I don't think it's the confirmation's place to make this decision. I think that it is to be recommended, as Rick said, by the NAC, and then the board can make that decision because it's a financial aspect for ASCA.
Okay. All right.
This is, and the committee basically said that it's not, the confirmation committee said it's not their decision to make, that they would forward their opinions, which I believe that they have. They were going to send them to Kathy as the catalog chair. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Susan. All right. That's taken care of. The Scent Search Committee, another discussion requested by Denise.
Okay, so I was requested by the chair to bring up this decision, this inquiry, in that the rules for the novice classes, the whole organization of the Scent Search Committee, and then the rules for the novice division are complete with maps, etc., as was presented at the spring board meeting. And she has requested that the board approve that rule book at this time so that that is all in place, and that and the effective date would be June 2023. She feels that the benefit of all this is that it gets people excited, introduced to it, excited about it, and familiar with a new program for ASCA. And also, one of the main reasons is you can't have judges if they don't have some like when Rally first came out, California had 2 Rally judges. And it was that way for a long time because they didn't have a judges program. So she wants to have a judges program through the use of nosework matches, that she feels that there are 20 to 25 people who have applied to be nosework judges for ASCA program. But they're going to have to go through it and be familiar with the procedures that our program requires and requests, and so that they, when it's time, and during the same time, they can work on the other excuse me, the other levels, games, anything else. It would they would complete their rule book so that when it got time to present it to the computer program, the entire thing would be already put together and the board could approve it then. But in the meantime, they could be doing this match situation so that they can get their judges in place. She didn't feel that they could have judges in place if they didn't do it, which means that they would also have to develop a judge's test, and also felt that, and they will have to fill out the template completely and return it to Ray, so that it would have all of the future titling levels and any other events like games, etc., that they want to include. So that it would be the rule book would be completely finished before it was ever and approved before it goes to the computer program. Let's see, what else did she say?
Denise, is this what she wanted to talk to me about?
I'm sorry, what's that?
This is what she wanted to talk to me about?
You didn't talk to her?
No, because she didn't want me to call in the evening. And during the day, the last 3 days, I've just been at university from, early to...
Oh, okay. Well, I'm assuming that this is what she wanted to talk to you about. She didn't say anything about it. But
she needs to go through you, not me. So...
Well, she also wanted to put it on the put a upcoming program on the website, have Heidi put that on the website so that it could be like listed under the like rules and forms as an upcoming program for the affiliates and the members to be able to become involved in it, would be able to find, be able to review what was already approved, and would be able to find out that there were matches, whatever. She didn't feel that there would be much anything to be required of the business office other than just maybe to add to a calendar of events.
Okay. So what she wants is for us to approve the program or just the novice?
The novice rule book would be approved.
No, it's the whole
So
rule book.
That's what they have right now. The whole rule book that they have given us only includes the novice.
Yes.
No, it has everything. It has novice, open, and advanced, just not excellent and games.
Right.
Right, but it's not complete. But as it was approved, as it was proposed and presented, she wanted that to be approved so that it could be on the website as the approved rule book for the Scent Search Committee, and then the board also knows that the rest of it is coming before the computer work will be done.
But if we approve it, then it becomes effective 2023. How do we keep track of scores if it's not programmed?
Yeah, this is the part that I
There's
guess
not going to be any scores or anything. It's not. There's not any trials.
I'm struggling with this. It's a slippery slope. We told the committee that they couldn't get to the front of the line. We have other things that are waiting.
Right.
The
She knows
office
it's
did not
she
have
knows
to do.
she's in.
Say what again?
She knows that it's the last thing on the list as far as a computer goes.
Okay.
I would like
Liz,
to go
you
around
sound like you're
this on the phone.
underwater.
I hate doing this on the phone because I have tried to talk so many times and I can't get
There
through.
you are.
Okay, so let me go around, okay, so that everybody can actually say what they want to say without becoming, So, Anne?
I had a long conversation with Donna on Sunday night driving back from Arizona, and it was pleasant, believe it or not. So, and so we talked about, and I told her, this is what you need to do, and this is what I think you are asking of the board. And then I recapped and emailed that to Donna and Denise this morning. And so I felt that, and I still feel that her request is reasonable and acceptable. That there is going to be no titling, nothing that needs to go into the computer, no costs involved, except if we consider Heidi's cost to put stuff on the website at all. They're not jumping the line. They're not going to have anything that needs to be recorded officially. They are asking for they're asking for exposure for the Scent Search program on the ASCA website, that look, here is this new program coming in June 2023, so that clubs can get prepared with supplies and do matches to help the clubs hold trials more effectively when they do become sanctioned, and to help exhibitors learn the ASCA Scent Search rules. They want this time to approve judges. There is the rules for approving judges are in the rule book. The form for applying to be a judge is in the rule book, and they want to get judges approved. So come June 1st, 2023, clubs can hold sanctioned trials with ASCA approved judges. That last part with the judges, I told her, you have to write a judge's test. It has to be done. It has to be multiple choice. Makes it easier. I also said if she wants it up on the website, that when it's a drop-down menu from competitive program, I sent her the screenshot of the obedience one. You need to write a little blurb, send pictures, here's scent search. So all they are asking for is exposure. They want the scent search rule book in bold letters coming in 2023 under rules and forms. They want a drop-down menu from the competitive program saying scent search coming 2023. They want the judge's application under the scent search forms. Not asking for any, they will get the template done for programming, and they know that they're last in line. And so hopefully, even them being last in line, that by June 2023, that indeed that can be programmed. And so I think I've covered everything. That's what she wants. I'm helping her. I just did another edit of the latest version of the rule book this morning to get it all in the same font. And I just forwarded that to Kala. I've also made a PDF of the different scents to have that as another tab under scent search. And then changing, and then getting the judge application too. So, yeah, so all she wants is all that stuff to be posted on the website so everyone has it and they can get stuff done.
Okay. Carol, thank you, Ann. Carol?
She left to check on her dogs, so she's not here.
Okay. I'll come back to her. So I'm gonna skip Denise and go to Gina.
Okay, first of all, we can't say it's coming in 2023 because we don't know that. And I don't want to advertise something that it's going to become effective 2023 if it doesn't. And I mean, we can give them, you know, advertising on the website. I don't understand why we have to approve the program as is. I'm still not clear on that one, but you know, I'm all for putting it on the website, but we'd have to say something like possibly coming in 2023. I definitely wouldn't give it as a definite. That's all I have.
Thank you, Gina. Jan?
I just don't think we can say when this is going to start. I'm with Gina, and I can tell you people are enthusiastic about the program. And if we want a little blurb saying it's going to come, but I don't want to approve the program, I don't want anybody starting to sanction events until we're ready to go with it. They can collect money to make this happen faster. I'm going to say that again, but you know, I don't think we can approve any of this. I will say Donna walked up to me, but I never actually talked to her because I was busy with dogs at the moment. So I missed out on the conversation, but that is what I would have told her. And I want to see a complete, finished product. That's, I believe, what you had with Rally. I think the only thing you didn't have was the championship. And right now we don't have a finished program. Thank you.
Thanks, Jan. Jean?
Yeah, I'm not willing to put a date on it. I guess we could say future goals or something. You know, and it needs to be complete before it's up there. And I mean, I get what Jan's saying about raising money, but even if they raise money, that's not going to put them towards the front of the line. It just, at least it's not supposed to. But I get it that she's excited and other people are excited and everybody's excited, but and my dogs are excited apparently. But we can put the rule book up there once it's complete, and we can put those sort of things up there once they're complete. But I would not agree to put any date on it at all. So that's just me.
Thanks, Jean. Rick?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of agree with what everybody else has said. I guess it is a little worrisome to me that there might be some chance that this program could not kick off in over a year. I do find that worrisome. If there's any chance that may not happen, I feel like we need to be upfront with that committee and let them know. I guess we're just kind of in a flux right now and really don't know what's going to happen. But a year from now, it's worrisome that committee has worked this long and has no faith that their program can kick off in over a year. I realize that there's no way that we can put them in front or put them in front of anybody else. But a year from now, I think that's strange. But I don't know. Gina knows more about that, and Dean has been working with Martin, so they have a better understanding. So I have to just rely on their expertise. But I don't know. That's all I really got. But I kind of agree with everybody.
Thank you, Rick. Susan?
Yeah, I agree with everybody. I really am uncomfortable with publicizing an incomplete document, and I just don't think that's the way we want to go. Yes, I hope with as much excitement as there is around this program that it does take off and that they're able to get everything lined up and they can get programmed and be ready to kick off. But I also agree that we do not need to put a hard and fast date on it just in case something were to occur. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Carol, are you back? Yeah. Okay. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I hate doing this on the phone. Never again. So here's, I guess I have a couple of questions. So we can't have matches unless the whole thing is already approved. Is that correct? And we can have judges being approved either until we have approved the rule book. Is that correct, Denise?
I don't know if that's true. Their rule book is everybody has to start a novice. So at this point, it is complete for anybody to compete. The whole program for going forward is not complete, but the only part that they would be using for the classes that are available is complete. And I don't know. I don't know what the policy is on the other.
I guess what I'm trying to surmise is whether they could have matches, because matches don't count for anything, right?
Right. But they have to have a rule book available in order to have any kind of rules and regs. The judges have to understand that. So that was why she wanted to post that the rule book proposed. I guess you can call it the proposed rule book and not the approved rule book.
We had non-regular farm files before it was the rule book.
Yeah, right. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah.
Well, how does a judge know how to judge it if there's no if the rule book is not there with the requirements.
If it's a non-regular, non-sanctioned thing, you, the host club, decides how it's going to be judged.
Like they could
Right, you
use
can use
the
the
rule book
rules.
as they could use the rule book as a guide, right, to do
Yeah.
a non-sanctioned event, right? I mean, am I wrong?
No, that's right.
Well, it seems like they
yeah,
could,
you're right.
Right,
Yeah.
but
but could it be on the website as such?
Is
Proposed
it
rules.
finished?
It's finished through novice or open. It doesn't have.
it's finished
And-
through advanced, and when I talked to Donna, like with the discussion that they're having on, okay, like adding the other classes and stuff like that, that she was saying that one, the committee can't decide on the games yet. So I suppose they could add the excellent before it is actually approved as a program, and then put that in for the template for the programming. But as of right now, no one's going to be in excellent. And so even for the matches, just to have a rule book, this is how you run open, novice, open, and advanced, and that the judges have to know that. I mean, I think her main thing is that she wants to get it on the website, and she wants to get judges.
She wants to get it moving.
Yeah, she wants it on the website so everyone knows, and she wants to get judges approved. So whenever it is approved, whenever we can get it programmed, that we have judges. So
The only thing about approving judges in the ASCA database is they wouldn't have a category for sent search yet. So that may be something that Donna will need to keep track of herself. But I see we could I could see ASCA putting the rule book on the website as far as here's our proposed sent search rule book. Do with it as you will, whatever. And then that way people would have access. I mean, I'm sure Heidi can make a page for sent search just like she has for every other program committee. And, I don't think that needs, maybe it does need some board approval, but I can see that happening, and put proposed rules up there and just put them up there for people to have fun with.
yeah, that's all she's really asking.
Well,
Yeah.
Except for this, the thing kept coming up about June 2023, and I do want to say something to that, is that last year in 2021, this board, in their infinite wisdom, and I was one of them because we had one of the programs in obedience, we said, oh, surely we'll have it programmed by June of 2022, so we're going to make these effective, and they're not. So I'm not willing to put dates on anything. We have to get through Warp 1 before, which is, the total rebuild of the database as it stands today, before we can move on to the new things. So, I
just put
have no issue.
for upcoming. You don't have to put a date at all. Just put upcoming program in progress or something to that effect.
But proposed
we don't have to approve the rule book.
program rule book.
We just have to,
Yeah.
say, I guess we should maybe do a motion that we put it on the website and say, this is work in progress. These are the proposed rules up to advance. And you're welcome to do matches as you see fit. According, use the rules as a guideline to do matches if you wish. And that would probably have some clubs excited about having some matches and get some practice and stuff.
Right, and I told
any judge
that the committee needs to
the
write.
judges then would be the judges would be compiled that way when you gain experience, and with the comments from the clubs that use them could all be sent back to Donna, or Donna's I think going to be the chair. That's the only name I've seen for the submission for the chair so far. and that she would just compile a list of them and their qualifications so that when it's all done, they can be approved also.
Correct. That's what I'm thinking, that we don't need to officially approve the rule book to do basically what she's asking us to do. We don't have to officially approve it with a motion yet, and we don't have to even, less go ahead and say any date, because right now, I mean, it might as well, it's possible that it'll be done in 2023, but we can't, we have seen how sometimes things get derailed. I mean, who would have thought about, a war in Ukraine would have affected us? So I think that maybe we can do it this way. Just put a page on the website, this coming soon or whatever, and encourage clubs to do matches. And she will have to keep the judges, so that when we officially approve the program, it's all ready to go.
Right. And that was her big thing, was that she says we've got to have judges in place so that when it is approved and ready to go, we have a list of however many judges they can get by then to be experienced with the ASCA program. So
yeah, I told Donna this morning, the committee needs to come up with, this is what do you want the text to be on your sent search page. You need to come up with it, because you got to come up with that. You got to come up with some pictures. When you do that, it'll go up on the website. So right now it's in her hands, so she can't blame us.
I wouldn't put the test on the website, only the proposed rules.
Yeah, just the rules. No, the test never goes on the website. She told us to write the test.
Just the rules, so that people know what's going on, what the program is going to look like, and use it as a guideline to do matches and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then I made a separate PDF that just has a chart of the scents, because that's what everyone wants to know. Ooh, I need to train my dog on the scents that they're going to use. So I did make a separate PDF of the scent chart. I pulled it out of the rule book so I can forward that when they get it all together, if they want to add that to the website.
Okay. So Denise,
we've all seen the rule book. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to make a motion about making a page on the website about scent search?
Yes. So I move that a page for the scent search committee be added to the website as a proposed program and rule book for the purpose of affiliates holding matches.
I'll second.
Is that all I need to say?
No, you don't really need a second, because it's a committee thing.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. No, there's a
Thank you,
motion
Gina, though.
Yeah. Some motion on the floor by Denise to add a page to the website for the upcoming, I guess, scent search program. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. I guess the only thing we need to make sure that she understands that we can't put any date on the page.
Right. I'll call her when we're done here. She'll be my best friend then. Or I'll be her best friend.
I said you were your best friend already. You're the liaison.
There you go.
Yep. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Denise. Okay.
Sure.
And we thought this was going to be a quick meeting, huh? Livestock at Nationals. Rick or Jan? I guess Jan and Carol brought this up.
Let me grab Carol.
Yeah, go ahead.
We can cover the next topic if
Okay, let's do that, Rick. Let's do that. We have
okay,
the
once we get Carol.
I just got back in here. Sorry.
Oh,
I had a client I had to help.
yeah, I understand.
Go ahead.
I'm here. Where are we at? I mean, sorry.
We're gonna start the discussion. There's an item in the agenda about livestock at national. So
Okay, perfect. Do you want me to start it? What are we doing? You want me?
yeah.
Okay, sorry. So I know that we wrote that at the spring meeting, and when Ann brought up that there's a lot of duplicate information on the stock preparation and the Nationals handbook, but I went back and read that, and there is a lot of duplication, but there are also some items on there that are not covered. So I don't think, I think we, I mean, I don't know if we need to make a motion to amend what we have or add to it, or if we need to make it totally separate. Like, I'm not sure what the process is with that, but there's nothing in there that it has any caveat as to that the board has any say on how to handle situations that come up, and or that there's anything about, you know, we put in there that, you know, if in the event that inappropriate livestock was presented to us, like last year, well, the guy sold his sheep, so we go to pick up the sheep, and this is what we end up with. And then you're just like, what? So then what? You just have to take them. Well, that's not always the best option, and certainly in certain situations, depending on the surrounding area, there are other options. And so, for example, in Texas, there would be the option of getting stock that was dog broke and prepared, even if we had to get it from more than one facility. And so some of those things that were not addressed, and there's a handful of other ones, need to be in there somehow. So like I said, I don't know if it means that we need to make a separate motion, or if we need to make an amendment to the motion, to what we already have, the rules we already have. But I'm willing to hear what the rest of you have to say. That's all I got.
Okay. Do you have anything, Jan, before I go around?
So Jan just had to leave because she got called on a call to another meeting.
Oh, okay. All right.
Sorry.
All right. Okay. It's okay. All right. So I'm just gonna go around and let the directors say whatever, you know, they think, or questions, or whatever they need. And
I think because there is a lot of duplication, but I also totally agree that there are additional things in what Carol wrote that do need to be added. As a result, I think that wherever, now I can't find it. So I think wherever those rules were, are they in the bottom of the stock dole rules? Why can't I find? Anyway, instead of a separate motion fully typed up as it was, I think that in order to make these additions, I think it needs to be a motion of, here's the current wording here's the proposed wording, and in the proposed wording, we're adding the stuff that is missing from, yeah, see, it's right here. Now, it's in the Stock Dog rule book. But it says, so yeah, it's Appendix 7 in the Stock Dog rule book. So technically it's in the Stock Dog rule book, but it's about nationals. So who gets to change it? That's the question. And so I think what needs to happen, whether it's by us or whether it's by the Stock Dog Committee, is that Appendix 7 needs to be have proposed language added in there, which is the additional language from Carol's motion that is not in there now, because there's a bunch that already is, and we don't need to repeat ourselves. So that's what I feel needs to be done, that the motion that is there, and it has not been presented, so it hasn't been I mean, I know you had it and seconded, but it hasn't been presented to the board. I think that needs to be withdrawn if you feel it needs to be withdrawn, and that Appendix 7 of the Stock Dog Rulebook needs to be changed to include the additional things that Carol and Jan had in this motion. I do not know legally, quote unquote, how to go about and do that. There we go.
Okay, thanks, Ann. Go ahead, Denise.
I agree with that. I believe that the Stock Dog Committee should be the ones to blend blend the proposed with the current wording, so that they get it how they want it, since it's their rule book. I'm not sure that there needs to be a board person that makes those decisions. You know, that's why we have a course director, who is the one who's ultimately involved in the contracting of the livestock, et cetera. And I think that the power should be given to them. I think that if there's a problem with this, that the board should be consulted, but I'm just not sure that we need to add somebody else to the official works of it, because that's, like I said, that's why your stock dog committee and your course director are the livestock professionals. But I would agree that the wording that Carol had proposed, that is in addition to the current wording, should be blended by the Stock Dog Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. Gina?
Okay, in the Stock Dog Rulebook, you have Chapter 14 that deals with the National Stock Dog Trial, and you have Chapter 15 that deals with the stock finals. And then you also have Appendix 7, which specifically states nationals. So I would think that you need to move Appendix 7 to the nationals, and then update it with whatever you want, move it to the Nationals Handbook. The Stock Dog Committee, maybe you could make them aware of the update, and if they want to update their chapters dealing with you know, the regular rules and stuff for stock dog trials, they could do that. I think in your motion it had said something about the Nationals Handbook. I don't know what that is, but it should be in the Nationals rule book. So, and I do think that we should have a board member oversee. It's not necessarily to tell them what to do or disagree with them or anything like that, but it should have some oversight. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Gina. So Jan is not here. Jean?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, you're back. Okay. Jan.
I had to go to the bathroom. Sorry.
Oh.
I thought I could make the quick escape. So,
all right, so
point one is the appendix has been very controversial on the Stock Dog Committee, so that there's history. Local clubs use that to help them design their facilities and get ideas. And I refer people to that. If they're saying, how should I set things up? I refer them to that section. So for me, I don't want it out of that rule book because I refer to it probably once or twice a year. I tell people, go read that section because it is a good guideline of what you need, how you should set your holding pins, what you need. It's just not as big as nationals. And I know a lot of people that have used it. I know the previous chair always wanted it out of the rule book and in the nationals, but that's my reason to be against it. I believe that every chair should have 2 rule books in front of them, the national rules and their program rules. So that's very important. So we have to make sure that all the programs have all the information available to them for all the events. I read through all those, and I still believe, I know that we hire a course director for finals, we hire one for nationals, we hire a chair. I know those are 3 people, but that's not what we're asking. We are asking for this person's only job is to make sure that things are being handled, that the livestock is handled appropriately. And if that means that we need to have a person at every ring, which really per our rules, there should be a course director at every ring at all times, and that's not even happening. So I'm just looking for another body there, making sure things are happening. And I am getting a lot of pushback on this because there are those 3 people we have appointed. However, there has been issues in the past, and we have to make sure that if Joe Blow Public walks by and there is some wreck happening in the stock holding pens, that we are not being reported to PETA or some program and we're getting shut down. And it took competitors to complain, and I believe they had to reset up the sheep setup, and there was issues last year. It is very important how things happen. And I still think more minds at a problem is always going to give a better solution than one person trying to solve a problem. Right now, they're trying to solve a problem that we have ducks at the nationals. So we'll see how that goes. And I don't really see them asking members. So we really need to start thinking about how all this livestock is being handled and the number of livestock that's held. So when I went through and reread it, I didn't see the overlaps between what is in the rule book and what we were trying to emphasize in this item. And I did want it in the Nationals rule book that's not in the Stock Dog rule book, because I feel it goes to all trials, but ASCA's name's on the line and our finances are on the line, and it's going to make a difference. And again, we want a premium event. So if there's a way that we can make this better, that's all we're looking for. Thank you.
Thanks, Jan. Jean?
Yeah, I agree with Jan on many of the things that she stated. And Gina, you know, here's the deal. We've already identified that there's an issue. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this conversation. You know, and I understand why there's pushback, right? Because people, being people, take things personally. And instead of realizing that, you know, more help could be merrier. So I actually hadn't even entertained the thought of a person watching at each arena. And you know, it's once upon a time, the only person that could call time on a run was a judge. And then we changed the stock dog rules so that the course director could appoint people to act in their stead. And so one of my jobs as a stock handler from far back was to call time on runs. If there was a dog in hot pursuit on a sheep's ass and they're headed right for my gate, I would open the gate, I would let the sheep in, and I would shut it right on the dog's face. Not on their face, but in their face. And we did that because you can't be everywhere. And we did it because it's good stockmanship to take care of your stock. And so part of taking care of your stock is to make sure that they're treated appropriately throughout the whole event. And identifying stock that aren't going to work for us, as Carol pointed out, is also another part of that. So I believe that those rules maybe do need to have some things added to them. And I do believe that there should be board oversight, be it somebody appointed, somebody not running, obviously, not judging, not whatever, but somebody who has enough sense to say, hey, you know what? Those sheep right there are really hot. How come there's no water for them back wherever? Why, anyhow. So I think it would behoove ASCA to do something to ensure that at least we are trying to take care of our stock better. And I'm not saying that they're not being treated well. I'm just saying it could be better. So that's my opinion. Thanks.
Thanks, Jen. Rick?
I have to kind of rely on the experts of the committee, Jan, Carol, Gina, on this, and I appreciate y'all's feedback. So I really don't have a lot to add. I just want to make sure that we don't step on any toes. I feel like that I don't want to make problems for ourselves. I know we don't need redundancy in the rule book, so we need to make sure that gets done. I do feel like the stock dog committee probably are the ones who need to do this. Will they put priority into this as much as Jan and Carol would like it to be? I don't know. Maybe it would need to come with a directive, because I'm not sure that they would see the urgency as Carol and Jan, and I'm just being honest. Right now they don't have a chair, so we should have one in the next week, but that's really all I have to say. Like I said, I kind of rely on the experts, so thank you.
Thanks, Rick. Susan?
Okay, my thoughts are this definitely needs to go back to the stock dog committee, and that they would need to incorporate the thoughts and verbiage in this document into the appendix, which then probably is one of those that needs to be in two places. It needs to be in the Nationals committee procedures as well as a stock dog rule book. I have concerns about appointing a representative to assist the course director. I do like the assistant course director so that there is one at each arena, cattle, sheep, and ducks. But my hesitation here is, I feel like part of this is a knee-jerk reaction because we had crappy sheep in 2021. And so, we talk about we need to have this due process and we need to, establish a procedure. I feel like we're basically just trying to cover for one event. Yes, I know the cattle were crappy in Oregon. how much of these decisions are we allowing the course director to make in contracting this stock? And is somebody going to oversee that? And are we going to say, oh, this is not, this is not acceptable stock when they're out, when they're being gathered before they're loaded onto the trucks? At what point, I think there's some things we just need to ask ourselves. At what point is that stock going to be determined not workable? Is whoever this appointee, is that individual responsible for going to wherever? I don't care. Columbus, I think that's where the cattle came from last year. Is this person responsible for going to Columbus and watching those cattle be worked by a dog before they're ever loaded on that truck and trailer to be hauled in here? The same token, is, this representative, this appointee, responsible for traveling to West Texas to see that those sheep are actually going to work with a dog before they're ever loaded on the trailer? Okay, we're 5 days out. We're going to load those sheep on a trailer and haul them over here to Bryan, Texas. You get out there in West Texas and you see that these sheep are not what you had planned on. How do you think you're going to find 200 head of sheep in 5 days that have been worked by a dog to haul in here to Bryan? I guess, yes, I was raised on a ranch. I understand stuff. But, there are a lot of variables anytime you walk into that stock arena that you cannot control. And the stock itself is one of them. They're animals. We can't predict it. We can't control them. So I have some concerns, and I just hope that we're not having a knee-jerk reaction on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. I actually was thinking in the same vein as Susan. I know why this is being done, and I don't disagree that we need to make sure that the livestock is taken care of, and we should have workable stock and all that. But I have some concerns about how to go about getting this done and appointing people. When you appoint so many people and whatever, there is an advantage to having 3 sets of eyes instead of 2 or 1, right? But there's also the possibility of too many chiefs, and I'm a little concerned that it will add some expense. I mean, if we're gonna make sure that somebody's doing this, are we gonna in either way like they do with other workers, or how is this gonna be done? The other concern that I have is what and great, the thought just came out of my mind because I received a call at the same time I was trying to turn it off. Let's see if I remember what the other concern was now. I'm too tired. I don't think that a board person is gonna, like a board member, is gonna be able to do this. Why? Because we are already pretty busy as it is. We can be called up at any time to, take care of something. And so how are we going to make the decision as to who to appoint? So that's my second issue. My third issue is that I agree with Rick in that I personally don't like the board doing things away from the committee in question, whether it's stock dot, confirmation, or whatever. I think that we should consult them and give them an opportunity to comment. We can, Jan and Carol can put it together, whatever it is that's not in the rules, right? And tell them this is what we're thinking. We need you to tell us, an opinion or something by such and such date. It doesn't need to be a directive, except that we can say, you know, if you don't help us, we'll do it on our own then, because, you know, if something needs to be done or something of that sort. So, you know, so those are my concerns. I don't like to just step, you know, over the committee in terms of not consulting them, not letting them. I mean, I would like to see actually the board working together with the committee to solve the problem. That's what I would like to see. Anyway, that's all I got.
Can I make another comment? This is Jan.
Sure, Dan, sure.
I would be happy once the chair is seated to work with them. But I also want to make an opinion is in Albany, I stated that the stock was unworkable and the course director said I had to judge it the way it was. I'm going to tell you, if I'd been sitting at the sheep arena and if I had no successful runs, I would have called them unworkable and that we should refund or do something else. So there's going to be a point that a judge is going to say the stock is not workable if we keep going down this trail. There's been many places, Wisconsin, there's been lots of places. Wisconsin, they were coming at people. Vegas, you know, on and on. I know those were affiliates. That wasn't this, but this is now ASCA. And we cannot be in that same situation. And like I said, in the old days, the committee actually worked nationals and finals. They were the stock handlers. When I first got on the committee, I said, is that our obligation? But by then they were paying and hiring people. Just a question. Do you want to talk?
I don't know. I don't know that was the way it was done. I mean, but, you know, I think that there is definitely a problem. There's no doubt about it. I'm just not sure how we can ensure that the stock is workable. I guess you could put them, you know, put a dog on them on that Friday or whatever, but still, what if it's not workable that Friday? What are we gonna do? That's my problem with the whole situation, is that I think that we need a solution. I'm just not sure that we're there yet with what that solution is gonna be, which is why it's probably better to you know, to have more opinion, like from the committee or something. But I agree with you, Jan, and with Carol. There is a problem, and if a judge was to do that at nationals or finals, that would be a big problem. I mean, yeah.
So this is Carol. Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I love the idea of working with the stock dog committee and doing it with the committee. I love that idea. I think that's a great idea. You know, and we all have all the examples of all the things in the past. And like Jan said, it was an affiliate club. Now it's ASCA and it's on our head, ours being ASCA. But we have to have a couple, you know, AKC has a contingency. If the judge says that if they show up somewhere and they say the stock is not workable, then the problem with that, you know, that's what they do. They like refund everybody's money and you go on your merry way. Well, that would be a really sad solution, because for one thing, it costs a lot of money. And the other thing, we don't want to give any money back. But the other thing is, that would be a sad day. So the other thing is, there are a lot of events where the stock is prepared appropriately, and whether it be dog events, horse events, or whatever. I mean, that is becoming the common norm. So to expect that
should be, that is not unusual. You know, maybe in the day when we were just trying to hunt up some animals, like that was one thing, but I think we're past that. And I know they have a lot of cuttings, they have a lot of stuff in Texas. Those animals are all prepared. You don't show up for the Derby with $1 million horse and not have prepared animals. I mean, that's not even an option. But the committee putting it on, and in our case, be it the Stock Dog Committee or the Nationals Committee or whatever, like that is the understanding that the animals must be prepared appropriately. It takes 2 days, and we already are paying people to do stuff. Now, if it's not being done appropriately, we're paying people and not getting our money's worth. And that's a whole different topic, and that's something we have to address. But it's not like people are like, well, we can't have them for a month. We don't need them for a month. You know, we need them for 2. We need to have a like group of animals under certain specifics. And when we make a contract and they say they're going to deliver them, then that is what we need to get. But we have to have a contingency that if we don't get that, what are we going to do? Because sooner or later, and it's already came up, but now it's on our ball, it's on our dime. Before it was on the affiliate clubs. Now it's on ASCA. Like, what are we going to do to handle that? And we do have to approach that. And working with the Stock Dog Committee to have an understanding of that, I think is great. And maybe looking at Stock Dog Committee members, if you're on the committee, maybe working with us to help with the solution would be a great way to participate. So just some ideas, but I'm more than happy to, like, I know they don't have a chair right now, but when they see the chair, I don't know how soon that'll be. I don't know who all is nominated for it either, I have to say, but when they do pick one, then I think, like I said, I'd be more than happy to work with them. And I'm sure Jan would too. And anyway, I don't think we need to do it outside the Stock Dog Committee. I think we really need to address it. So that's all I have.
Okay, so can we agree then that maybe if you two can, put it all together for them and send it to them through Rick, and just give them a timeline. We need to resolve this problem, and so we need a response from you by whatever, and let's see what happens. Let's give them a chance, right? Since now they're going to have a new chair and all that. I mean, I know that there have been people that have not been happy with the Stock Dog Committee in the past, but we can't make our decisions based on those experiences. I think we have to give them the chance to try to come up with something to address what you guys have come up with. So can we agree on doing that? Do we have a consensus on that? Anybody opposed?
Hey, Liz, this is Rick. We will have a chair. We will have a chair the first of next week. So it's coming soon. So, and I'd love to work with Jan and Carol to see this move forward. So I think that's a good plan.
Yeah, so let's just go ahead and do that and see what happens. Hopefully they'll be, they'll have some motivation to help you guys out to solve the issue and find a solution. So, all right. Thank you guys, and thank you, Rick. So Rick, the ducks.
Yes, I don't know how many of you know, Jan might have just touched on it a little bit, but as of today, we have no ducks for finals in nationals. The contractor backed out. The contract was never signed, and he backed out, really didn't give a concrete reason. So the NAC, Laura, Rachel, is working with Jackie Tinker to resolve this issue. This is really a time-sensitive issue. I'm waiting on a recommendation and a proposal, but I felt like the board needed to know that as of today, we have no ducks for nationals and finals. And I have not received the exact proposal of what they're talking about. I know Jackie Tinker has talked about procuring ducks, growing them out. We're running on borrowed time for that. So I just wanted to be up front and let the board know kind of where we're at with that issue.
Rick, if I remember correctly, the contract for the ducks was for this guy. He will grow them out and everything and then bring them, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
And he decided he will not do that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess that's pretty bad. You're right. We're running short on time to grow them out.
Yeah, they'll be 6 months old.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard to get them legged up at 6 months old.
This would have been one of the alternatives that was in our proposed motion is, possibly seeing what was available in the area and if you could create a uniform with dog broke stock that's in the area. Not being ideal, but I think they should have been already ordered and on the ground in April, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have thought.
We started in February for a November
Yeah.
trial. So six months is good if you have somebody that's willing to work with them. Being the professional duck trainer,
Hey, Denise,
But you're
I-
not
don't you want to raise? Don't you want to raise them again, Denise?
if you weren't so far away, I could do that. You bet. I mean, this time of year is
You
great.
can call
because-
the
You don't want to put them in the truck and bring them over?
Hey,
Right.
we took 8 dogs last year, so we could probably take 200 ducks, right? Why not? But no, I think 6 months is still adequate to get your ducks in condition. Once they're up on their legs at all, you just start by baby steps. The first time we put ours out in the pasture, in grass that was 2 inches tall, they could barely go 30 feet without being done and squatting down. And every day you just you go 35 feet and you go 40 feet, and pretty soon they're up and going, and yeah, I don't think you have any problem in 6 months.
Well, I guess we'll wait and see what the NAC can do and what they come up with and what the committee comes up with, and see what happens. I guess. I mean,
Yeah, I will keep everybody informed.
Thanks for sharing that
Where
with
does
us.
she live? Rick, where does she live? Captain Tinker.
She lives in Texas. So
that would be my only concern, if somebody out of state, even myself would do it, because there are so many things that happen just all of a sudden. You can't take them across state lines.
right?
yeah, they're here in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, it will have to be Texas ducks, no doubt. Yeah, thanks for letting us know, and hopefully they come up with a solution. If not, I guess, I don't know, we won't have ducks, I guess. That would be sad.
Well, I think somebody needs to put a bug in the stock dog committee's ear that we don't do ducks at finals going forward. I don't think it's cost effective at all. I don't, I think it's for what it's worth. I like ducks. I mean, one of my best dogs, he was great on ducks and cattle and hated sheep. So, and I know they take a lot of finesse to work and but they're just really hard to raise and really hard to get rid of when you're done.
Oh no,
So
that Asian market loves those ducks.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, 200 ducks, and they go through a lot of feed, and
They're
it just seems
expensive.
like you can
They were more.
and you can
They were more.
easily, quote unquote, easily find cattle and sheep, but find somebody with 200 ducks.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I guess it's something that maybe the stock dog committee will have to think about, especially after, I assume that they know already that this is going on because, Jackie being in the committee also.
Yeah, I have been waiting for Jackie to send something because the NAC said they really wanted to run it by the stock dog committee first to get a consensus. So I don't know how many of the stock dog members know this or not.
Okay, well, I think that the NAC has the right process going, consult the SDC, and see what solutions, it's just that we have a tight timeline. That's the only thing,
Yes, and they are on it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Rick.
You're welcome.
I guess we'll find out. Okay. So that was the last item on the agenda. And so I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I motion to
I move
adjourn.
to
Denise.
I'll second, Gina.
Okay, motion by Denise, seconded by Gina to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. And
Okay,
thanks, guys.
bye.